Hey guys, so I'm hoping this works because I'm outside, but I just wanted to say hello and is anyone else confused on the weather? Because it is February and like 60 degrees and that's not normal here in the mountains, so it's very interesting. So I wanted to expand a little bit on the previous video I posted on my diagnoses. I actually forgot to. And they didn't really occur to me until like after the fact. Actually, like I posted it and then like 4 days later. So I actually have two more. The first one is I have a patent foramen ovale, or also known as a PFO. It is a hole in my heart between the atrium. And as actually a lot of people are born with it, and it closes because everyone's born with it, but in most people it closes after you're born, and apparently mine didn't, and we didn't find it until about 3 years ago. So and with it I actually have a hypermobile septal wall, so the wall where the hole is moves a little more than it should, and the doctors really haven't really said much about it to me. They actually brought that up to me in December. I asked somebody about it, and he actually said that it's can, and later in life, a lot of people have really bad strokes with it. And let's see, what else did he say? That the hypermobile part of it, like the wall, is actually what a lot of athletes die of, he said. The ones that they just die on the field and stuff like that, or they die in their sleep, he said a lot of them end up having that as well. But they don't really know what to do about that. There's nothing really they can do about it. And with the hole, they can patch it and close it up, but they say mine's a little small. But as I go, I'll talk about that a little later because we have new developments with that. And sorry, the second diagnosis I forgot was carpal tunnel. I don't know how I forgot that because I have to wear like these massive braces every night to go to sleep, or when I'm not really doing anything, like if I'm not on the computer and if I'm just like sitting watching a movie or something, I'm supposed to wear them, but half the time I don't, and I will pay for it later. I know a lot of time knitting definitely gets me into a lot of trouble if I knit for several days and I don't take any type of anti-inflammatory or anything. But yeah, it doesn't really bother me. I guess it's one of those things, both the PFO and carpal tunnel is like out of sight, out of mind. They don't bother me until I have symptoms. And I usually forget about them. So yeah, just wanted to add those to my list. And also I wanted to talk about what kind of happened to me at the beginning of last week. About a week ago, I ended up having what they suspect was a TIA. They're not entirely sure why, and I meet with the cardiologist in a month, from like yesterday actually. So we're gonna like look into, I guess, more things. I don't know, they didn't really tell me much. They did keep me overnight in the hospital just to monitor me. I was actually at the doctor's office when I had symptoms, which never happens. But it was really weird because like my right side went numb and I couldn't move it and I couldn't speak. And it was actually kind of terrifying. And the like I was in the middle of a sentence when it started, and so the doctor was just like, "Are you okay?" And I just started crying. And so he was like, "Okay, we're taking you to the hospital." But I mean, MRIs and nothing showed anything, and so that's why they just suspect a TIA because it only lasted about an hour, and I was fine again. So I don't know anything about what happened with that. They're not really changing treatment as of right now. they are afraid to put me up on any type of blood thinning items because I do already take fish oil, which thins your blood, but at times my blood gets way too thin, and at other times I have positive D-dimers, which indicate blood clots somewhere in your body, or like high clotting factors, and I don't know. That was the first time I ever passed out. They told me I had a D-dimer that was like quadruple the time, or quadruple what it should have been, but they never found anything. So it was interesting, to say the least. But yeah, I only stayed a night, and I was perfectly fine. I went to work at the hospital a couple days later, and the staff was just like, you better not try anything funny on us. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I did meet, forgot about this. I did meet my new cardiologist. I was not a patient at the time, but I was working, and the nurse practitioner, Kathy, that I've had a lot of interesting things with, actually introduced us, which I thought was interesting. I had seen her both Thursday and Friday. Thursday, she came up to the floor to see a patient, and I was very flustered, you could say, at the time. There was a lot going on, and I feel like I was really rude to her, and I didn't mean to be. But I was really busy, and she came over to check on me and see how I was doing and everything, and I just kind of was just like, I'm fine, everything's fine, whatever. I mean, really, we need to sit down and have a long talk, but obviously that was not the time. And yeah, Friday, I ended up going down to take something to the lab, and she kind of followed me, which I thought was strange. Because I kind of passed her in the hallway, but my hands were full, and the next thing I know, I turn around to leave the lab, and she's like right behind me, and I was like, okay. But she was, she again checked on me to make sure everything was okay, and she came up to the floor with me. I guess she was meeting Dr. Lee, and she actually introduced me, and he was like, she was Dr. Fox's patient, and all of Dr. Fox's patients have now converted over to Dr. Lee's patients. And she said, she'll be coming to see you in March. And he was just like, well, nice to meet you. That was about it. I'm not too sure about how I'm going to get along with this doctor, or whether or not I should actually see him. So I'm praying really hard about that. I have heard from several people at the hospital that I need to avoid him. I need to not see him in the hospital, or in the clinic, or anything else. Like, I need to stay as far away from him as possible. And I think that's interesting if the staff is already telling me that, and what they've seen in him apparently treating patients and how they treat him. I have heard he's very rude, and people are just like, stay away. And I'm not sure how to take that. I'm praying really hard about it, whether or not I really need to see him. And, yeah, I mean, he seemed very nice when I saw him, but then we questioned him about a pacemaker he had placed in somebody who, it just wasn't picking up very well on our heart monitors up at the desk as working correctly. And he just kind of blew it off, and he was really rude in the way he explained that the heart monitors didn't pick up when it was pacing, and it just looked very irregular. It was not evenly paced at all. And we've had other doctors in the hospital, especially Dr. Fox, who's the one I saw, who had last week placed the exact same pacemaker in somebody, and it worked perfectly. So I'm not entirely sure. And it makes me a little weary when the staff is telling me not to see this guy, because they see him more than I do. I'm usually there pretty late in the afternoon, and most cardiology consults in the hospital are done first thing in the morning. So I'm going to wait. I will see him probably in March and see how he treats me in the office. But I'm also going to take into account what I hear from the nurses for the next month, and the interactions I have with him while I'm at the hospital doing stuff, where he's not treating me as a patient at that time. I think that is very valuable in seeing how a physician works. But, yeah, and I feel like I'm just kind of rambling. That's not what I do a lot of. So, yeah, I guess I'm gonna finish reading or something, enjoying this crazy February weather. I don't understand. I mean, 2 years ago today, we had like 3 feet of snowfall, and then like 2 years later, like today, it's 60 degrees and sunny and weird. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm waiting for winter to come, and it's not coming. So anyway, I hope that everyone is having a fabulous week and had a great weekend, and I will talk to y'all later. If y'all have any suggestions about the things I should look for in this doctor or before seeing this doctor, also please let me know. I really want to make the right decision and whether or not to stay with him or see if I can get into somebody else. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't really met him, so. But anyway, I will talk to y'all later. Bye.